Hello, guys, and welcome to A Day with Zenler session two. And today, on this session, I don't know what is happening because I have the amazing Kevin with us today, and Kevin's going to pop up any second, and he's going to tell you what's going on because I really haven't got a clue. I mean, how exciting is that, hey? We normally always tell you, and you might think, oh, you should tell us what the event is, but sometimes we just want to blow your mind with things. So we got Kevin on here, and he's going to be surprising us with something. Don't know what it is. And then we got Rakesh on, who's also not telling you what's going on. So I don't know. I just host it. All I do is, like Kevin said, he's coming on. He's running a 2 hour session. I've just got to go with it. I'm not telling you what I'm doing. So here we are, Kevin. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Hey David, yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to this one. And you know what? I think this is a real trust thing within a team, and this is how people should be operating within their teams. Just say trust enough to go, yeah, he's going to come on, do this, and do a pretty good job, right? We don't need to watch everything all the time. And I think if you're running teams, you need to be where we are because I think it's
Yeah.
really important. It makes everything work just that much nicer, right?
Yeah, well, it's hard for me because I'm a bit of a control freak. So it's like, ah,
Yeah, well, we all like to grow, right? And
I have to grow.
I
I have
think
to
in
grow.
Zenler, I think growth is probably a really strong word for everybody involved, whether it's an educator, with us pushing each other and Rakesh pushing the standards, or whether you're a user and we're pushing you to do more, right? Everybody grows. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so. So, all right, I'm going to unleash Kevin upon the world. So I'll be here. I'll be looking at the chat, and if any questions come in or any of that stuff, I'll field it to Kevin. He's running this, and if he wants me to jump in, just mention Kevin. I'll be up. But
Okay.
over to you.
Right, thank you very much. Right, I'm going to share my screen. I've got a presentation for you. Don't worry, it's not death by PowerPoint. I've tried to make it as interesting as I possibly can, although I do recognise sometimes that's not always that easy. But we're going to talk today about leveraging lead magnets, and we're going to be focusing on particular types of lead magnets. Now, the reason that I've focused on these because these are the ones that I've looked at, I've experimented with over the years, and I've found that used correctly, that they can drive the most amount of course sales, which is ultimately why you're here. And it's one of the biggest pain points that course creators have. How do I get people interested in what I do? How do I get more sales for my courses? And that's really what today's session is going to be focused on. We're going to go into a real heap of detail on this. Now, you don't necessarily need to make notes because there will be a replay. What I want you to do is immerse yourself in what we're doing, what we're looking at, and how this is being delivered, because some of it's going to blow your mind. You're going to you're going to question it, which is fine. If you question it, go off and Google it afterwards, or talk to other people, or whatever you want to do, because there are some numbers and some stats in here as well. But ultimately, all of this stuff I've done, all of this stuff that I'm talking to you about right now works currently. And this is the key to it, because there are things that we can do that worked 5 years ago, 6 years ago, all of that in different environments. But what we're talking about here today is using lead magnets, and lead magnets can be created in multiple different ways, or I'll rephrase that, can be delivered in multiple different ways within the Zenler platform. We looked at this in some of the previous workshops that we did. So, for example, we built assets out, and a lead magnet is ultimately some form of asset that we're giving to people. So, this is your definitive guide on using lead magnets to grow your course business, and we're going to look at planners and challenges and how they can transform what it is that you're looking to do. Here we go. So why lead magnets matter? Go away to your ecosystem. So this is about initial discovery. Lead magnets create the crucial first impression with potential students. So if somebody is wanting to start to understand a bit more about what you offer, more than the free stuff you just put out, blog posts and all of that, this is a great way for them to discover a little bit more. It builds huge amounts of trust when you do it correctly. So free, valuable content demonstrates your expertise before asking for payment. And that's the crucial bit. At the moment, when we give something for free, and we'll talk about the transactional cost of this in a minute, and that's not a financial transaction. We build trust. We say, we've got something here. If you do this, then we'll give that to you. And there is no cost involved for you. One of the goals is we want to convert people that are just viewing your stuff, people that are just sort of looking and liking and commenting and browsing and reading, into subscribers. And we make them subscribers because we want to nurture them through something to be able to hopefully encourage them to make a buying decision of your course. And this ultimately, the lead magnets bridge the gap between free content, so stuff that we just go, there you go, have it, blog post, whatever, and paid courses. So this is the linchpin, the bridging the gap, as we call it. So this is a roadmap to understanding the implementation. So understanding lead magnets, we're going to cover psychology and the mechanics behind an effective lead magnet. We're going to look at planners as lead magnets. So learn how to create planners that drive course enrollments. We're going to look at challenges as lead magnets and discover the power, the engagement power of challenges. And then we're going to look at implementation strategies. So you'll walk away with actionable steps to launch your lead magnets. How cool is that? So the psychology of free, why people love lead magnets. So the principle of reciprocity, have we heard about this? Perhaps you have, perhaps you haven't. So when you offer something of high value for free, people feel a drive, an obligation, a responsibility to help you out, to return the favor. It's called reciprocity in marketing. And it's a very, very powerful thing when you get it right. It removes any level of risk. So when we give free offers, we eliminate financial risk. So they've not got to think, oh, this is going to cost me $5. Am I going to waste my money? It's going to cost me $10. Am I going to make a loss on that? Is it rubbish? So it makes a decision really easy for people to get involved. Okay. Immediate gratification. So good lead magnets, and I'm being very specific in my language here, high value lead magnets, good lead magnets provide instant value. So they satisfy a desire for a quick return, a result, whatever it is that the goal of that lead magnet is. And it should always have a proper goal behind it. And then if we do limited time for lead magnets, and I always suggest that lead magnets should never be a done and left. They should be rotated. A decent strategy for your marketing is to say, right, here's every month I'm going to do a new lead magnet, right, of something. So one month it could be a worksheet or something. Next month it could be a challenge, and you start to cycle them around and do different ones. I've worked with people, and we've done ourselves before, where we change them out and we have a 12-month cycle or a 24-month cycle of updating, put out, update, put out, promote, update, put out, promote, update, put out, promote. And what that does is it keeps it fresh. And therefore the FOMO, I hate the fear of missing out thing, but basically what we're saying is this is only available for a period of time. And if you don't miss it on this one, you're going to have to wait 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever it may be, until it comes around again. And if you're giving it for free, you can absolutely, of course, well, even if you're doing it for paid, you can absolutely do that. So lead magnets defined, value first content. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a minute and hopefully get rid of that thing. It's in my way. Value first content. So free, valuable content, high quality resource that solves a specific problem. It offers a clear path from free to paid offerings, normally a course. So there's a connection to a course somewhere within this. We want an email address, probably a name, maybe some other details. So some people nowadays ask for phone numbers so that they can ring people. Did you download this? Did you gain access to this? Some systems you don't need to ask that because you can tell. But sometimes even if you know they've downloaded it, you still want to call them and go, how did you get on with that? Did you download it? Did you find it useful? Did it solve your problem? Is there anything else we can help with? And it's about relationship building, so ongoing communication and trust and development. So the statistics, Lead magnets impact on conversion rates. So there's a lot of things to think about here. So the average increase in landing page conversion with targeted lead magnets. So once they've been through a lead magnet, it's targeted, and we take them to a conversion page, a landing page, you get a 42% increase on that. That's a fact. That's not made up. That's fact. A typical open rate for a lead magnet delivery emails. So if you're running a challenge or you're doing follow-up emails, you've delivered an email, they expect more to come to you because they know it's going to be great value. The open rate goes up because they're expecting it, they're looking for it, they know it's going to be a value, not going to waste their time, it's not spam. It makes sense. Email open rates will go up. Average lead to student conversion with proper nurturing, I might add. So it's not just here's lead magnet, next piece of interaction is buy my course, right? That's not proper nurturing. Like taking them down a sequence of something is 15% on course conversion. So taking them from a lead magnet, taking through a nurture sequence, then make them an offer at the appropriate time for the appropriate thing, we'll see course conversions increase by up to 15%. That's quite big for some people, right? If you're really, really struggling with conversions, you're taking them from maybe just a landing page cold or from a blog post to landing page, same process. It's still not a nurture process to take them from a blog post to a landing page. Sometimes they need more, which is where lead magnets really sort of come in. Think about taking them from a blog post to a lead magnet, then through a nurture, then to a sales page for your course, because you'll then see maybe a trickle of conversions with a high amount of views to a much larger amount of conversions. Yeah, you've got to put more steps in, but once you've done it once, you've done it once. You haven't got to keep on doing it. And 3 times return on investment improvement. So on ad spend when targeting lead magnet downloads. So course creator challenges, standing out in a crowded marketplace. So this is the one part that we're going to be focusing on right now. So we're going to be talking about creator challenges. So we all know it's difficult now to be heard. It's hard to market your business. It's hard to stand out. Everybody's talking about what you're talking about. There's information everywhere. There's nothing really new. And what's happening is everybody is doing everything. Wherever you look, there's 100 people doing and offering what you seem to be offering. And it's becoming harder because with the use of AI in search now, people are finding answers much quicker. So we have to work a little bit harder in making sure that what we offer as a lead magnet really does give the value that people are looking for. And that does mean actually not just doing a 10-point top tips thing or a list or anything like that. It means you've really got to put something of deep value that you make unique. So you need to stand out with your distinct value proposition within your lead magnet. You need to it draws in potential qualified students. So audience attraction, really, really great. It massively is a credibility builder. So you demonstrate expertise without overwhelming your students. And we do this over a period of time. And it bridges the gap between free content and paid courses really, really nicely. So we talk about nurturing people between a lead magnet and a paid offer. This is a really nice way of doing that, where people get to know you, your style, how you operate, maybe through video, maybe through live interactions, however you decide to develop and display it. It doesn't really matter. But what they do is they get to know you. And therefore, when it comes to making an offer, or often people will ask for, how do I take the next step? What's the next thing for me? How do I invest with you? That type of thing. It becomes much easier. So the lead magnet ecosystem for course creators. So we need to drawing potential students with specific pain point solutions. So when we create a lead magnet, look at, just like we would with a course. So a course is obviously much more in depth. There's more information going on in there and all of those things. We look at what's the end result. What do they get by joining this course? That's our goal, right? So whenever we do anything or create any course, we're looking at the end point first, right? By taking this course, you will learn, you will be able to, that type of thing. And with a lead magnet, it's just a micro version of that. So by downloading this sheet, by joining this challenge, you will, and this is what we're going to solve for you. This is what we're going to help you with. This is what you will achieve. This is what you will learn. This is what will happen. What transformation will take place by doing that. So guide to course purchase is a natural next step. So once we go through the lead magnet, we'll take them through a series of different things. And then naturally, the next step's going to be, here's my paid course, whatever it is. Provide immediate value that exceeds their expectations. And I think this is one of the things where it's a common phrase, under promise, over deliver. I'm sure people have probably heard that phrase before. It's not new. But it really does mean so much nowadays in what people are doing and how they're looking to engage with new students, new customers, new clients, whatever it is, whoever it is that you're looking to deal with. So when you're creating your lead magnet, whatever format it may be in, you need to, one, get that immediate dopamine hit of they've got something of great value right there, and you want that, wow, that's amazing, that's awesome, that's great, this is brilliant, this is fantastic, I didn't expect that. You need that response from people when they come in. Now, often we get a little bit overly carried away with writing really long sales pages that bump up everything and oversell everything and over dramatize everything. And we do it with lead magnets as well. And we really shouldn't. We shouldn't need to, because if we're giving something of extreme value away for free, we've all seen it where really well-known people will go, oh, I'm giving this away for free. Right. And they might just do a one-line page with a form and go, right, just fill that out and you're going to get this. It's going to be awesome. And because they trust them and they know what they're going to deliver, it's going to be awesome. They just do it. They don't need to write a great big long opt-in sales page. And this is what you need to get to the point of, where people know when they interact with you and that lead magnet, it's going to be that wow factor, that immediate, this is absolutely fantastic. So provide immediate value that exceeds expectations, and then build the relationship through strategic follow-up. So there's that strategic word. I love that word. And this means that it's a thoughtful process. It's not just going off. We nurture them through whatever it is that we're doing to be able to help them come to a conclusion that maybe the next step, which is maybe the course that we're offering to them, is right for them or wrong for them. And either way is okay. What's not okay is for them to be undecided. So naturally, as marketers and salespeople, and that's what we're doing with this type of system, we want them to make a decision. Yes, it's for me. I've gone through your lead magnet. It's awesome. I love it. You've really understood my situation and what I need help with. Yes, I want your course, which takes me a step further. Or, you know what, lead magnet was really great, really brilliant. It sort of took me as far as I need to be right now. I don't need this. Or I've downloaded this, wasn't quite what I expected. It's absolutely awesome, but it's not for me. Thanks very much. The course isn't for me. So we need to nurture them in a very supportive and an ethical way to make them get that to the point where they make that decision for themselves, right? Which is why we don't want to push people through. So building relationships through strategic follow-up. So planners versus challenges, understanding the difference. So this is what we're talking about, planners, challenges. This is the situation that we're at. So a planner, what is a planner? This could be digital or physical, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of this in a little while. So planners are self-paced resources. So we don't tend to tell them when to do stuff or how to do stuff. They go through it at their pace. The structure, there's a structure and there's focus tools within these planners. So it's an ongoing reference to materials. There's often it's a passive delivery system. So it's very much you do it when you want, there's no time limit on this. Just, when you're around and you want to get this result, just go through this when you find the time. and there's lower creator maintenance involved with planners. Now, if we look at challenges, so these are often time-bound experiences. What we mean by that is go through this today, that tomorrow, that the day after, this in a week, that in a month, whatever. We can have community-orientated events, which are really, really engaging. We can have active participation is required. So people need to be there and getting done during the time that's been outlined for this. There's higher engagement metrics involved, and there's more creator involvement. So they're quite different, and you should really understand your audience to know which type of audience you're focusing on. And maybe it's a case of you need both for different reasons, to bring people into whatever it is that you're offering. And you'll pick up the more laid back people in the planners, you'll pick up the more urgent, focused, want to get it done now people in the challenges. And that's why you would pick which one you want and then focus the marketing of each one around that type of client, rather than trying to get someone to do a digital planner and say, do this today, do that tomorrow, and all of that. And they're just going to go, well, I'll just get it done when I get it done. That's fine. And they want to go off and read stuff as and when they want to do it. Or you might be going to people that are quite laid back, maybe a bit time challenged, that are struggling slightly with that. And you're trying to put them through a challenge where they're good for day one, but then suddenly day two, day three, they're dropping off. They come back in day four and, oh, sorry, I missed day two and three. How can I get? And it all becomes a little bit messy. So understand who it is you're targeting for what reason, based on these bullet points, will mean which one you create for which audience and the way that you market it. So the anatomy of an effective planner as a lead magnet. So these often have a focused objective. It addresses one specific pain point or goal related to your course topic. So think of your course that you're selling, pick out a pain point within that and focus that planner or that lead magnet on addressing that pain point. You want it professionally designed. You can have a visually appealing layout that has your brand stuff on it. It makes it really easy for people to use. Nowadays, you can build these in PowerPoint, you can do these in Canva. There's loads of places you can do it. It says professional design. What I mean by that is it doesn't look like a 5-year-old's made it. It looks like some time and effort's gone in. You've used a professional template, a good template, one that looks good, nice and clean. You haven't got multiple different fonts all over the places, and it's not all everywhere out of character. And it aligns with what your brand is for maybe your website, your course site, whatever it is that you've got going on. It's got to be nice and intuitive with clear instructions, loads of workspace. I see so many planners where you ask people to type in or to write in or whatever it is, and the boxes are so awfully tiny, yet and they can't fit in what they want to fit into it, and therefore they're writing over other things, and it gets all a bit messy. And those with a small amount of OCD go absolutely nuts and go, oh, I've quit on this because I can't use it. So it's really important you give more space than less. And then, of course, like all things where we give it away for free, we need that connection through to your course. So if the focused objective of it is one small pain point that's related to your course topic, then throughout that planner, what we need to do is make sure that we're constantly referencing the course as the next logical step for them. Maybe add in something going along. If you're going to do a digital planner, you can put a link in there. If not, maybe you could do a QR code or do a combination of both that take them through to the next step, which is going to be the paid for course. Maybe it will be paid for course wrapped around some sort of coupon code link. We've talked about those in the past, how you do those, so I'm not going to get into that, but there's lots of ways. As a thank you for going through this planner, you've gone through this, you've found that you've overcome this particular pain point. You want more? Let's help you out. If you click here, if you scan this QR code, we'll take you to our new course And as a special thank you for going through this, then we'll give you a 20, 30, 50, 90, whatever percent discount you want to give them, right? So that's the anatomy of the planner. So a case study. So this is Sarah's productivity planner, and this generated 500 leads. So the problem that we faced was there was a low course enrollment for a time management program. And this is a true case study, right? But I've not just made this up. So we needed to create a specialized productivity planner as a lead magnet. So the program was time management program. So it covered a lot of aspects of time management, how to deal with it, how to organize, tips, tricks, techniques, etc., and all of that. To get them to realize they needed that course, the solution for the product, the planner, the lead magnet was to create a productivity planner. So give him a productivity plan and just see what they're up to, what's going on, how maybe they could go off and improve what it is that they're trying to do. Because clearly, if they're looking for time management, their productivity is probably quite low. Maybe they're just procrastinating, maybe they're overwhelmed and they're just hopping from this to that to the other, firefighting, all of that. And the productivity planner will help them at least establish that something's going wrong. Maybe they don't know how to fix it, but that's what the course will probably do. Okay, so that was the problem. That's the solution. How did we implement this? This was actually promoted on Pinterest. Amazing platform, vastly underused, huge amount of reach. And people do go on, millions of people go on there every single month for a whole heap of different things. So Pinterest was where that was promoted for free. It wasn't promoted in a paid for pin or anything like that. It was just put on there for free during a sequence of pins that were put out, all linking back to the free lead magnet, the productivity planner, little screenshots here and there of what was in it, how you could get it, all of those types of things. It was also promoted in Facebook groups with the permission of the owner of the Facebook group, I might add. So don't just go into Facebook groups and start putting your free stuff in. Find the groups where there's groups where you can do self-promotion stuff. There's also groups focused on specific issues. If you go in with the specific, so if you went into a time management group, the likelihood is if you said, look, I've got a time management program, can I promote my free lead magnet because it goes to this course? They'll come back with one of two answers normally. And normally it would either be a flat out no, because that's what we do, or it might be, well, let's have a look and see if there's an affiliate opportunity here. Because they've gone to the hard work of building a group of people interested, they're nurturing it all through. They don't want you coming in and sweeping up and going, have this, and taking all of the clients away. So Facebook groups, but there are other groups, so you could look for other things where maybe if you knew there was a certain type of person, so for instance, it might be self-employed people, it might be people that are doing self-employment as a part-time job, where their families or mums or dads that are doing mum and dad duty during the course of the day, and they're doing something in the evenings to try and build up another income, and they're finding time management a problem. So it might be that type of group. It doesn't have to be a time management group in this example. And that's exactly what we did. We focused on parents that were looking for a second income because we knew juggling family life and also trying to build a business, it was really proving to be a bit tough. The result, 500 leads and 75 call sales in 30 days of doing this. Now, remember, this was putting a pin out every day. This was an established Pinterest account, so it wasn't brand new. Established Pinterest account, and then posting in different groups on a bit of a schedule. So it wasn't going in posting the same group every day. That's way too much. But picking half a dozen groups and putting a post in every couple of days. And that's how that works. So 500 leads were gained, 75 course sales were made in 30 days. So that's 500 people in the lead magnet of the productivity planner. Out of that, through the nurture sequence that was put in place, 75 course sales. So, which is pretty good result, I would say. So 5 types of planners that convert for course creators. So let's get into this. So goal setting planners. Sorry, I'm just going to have a quick drink. So goal setting planners. People love a goal. They like to be able to achieve and track their progress towards a goal. So it helps people clarify and track progress towards specific objectives. Implementation planners guide this guides users through executing strategies or systems. It's normally again one thing. So one thing that they need to implement to start to form that habit. Habit trackers support building consistent behaviors related to your topic. We did a habit tracker back in October last year for the Black Friday deal, if people remember that. And lots of people looked at the template we gave them and adapted it because they recognised that habits need to be formed for people to be successful in whatever it is that they're helping them throughout what their courses. Project templates, so providing frameworks for completing complex tasks and self-assessment tools. So identify their current status. So this could be like a fitness thing, right? And improvement areas. So it could be a healthy eating tool or something like that. So they're really good ones that cover a lot of different usages within you for you being a course creator. So I'll leave that there for just for a second so you can just digest that, or maybe take a screenshot of that if you want, or snap that with your phone, because they're really good ideas for you that can be easily created in something like Canva. If you go into Canva templates and put goal setting planner or habit tracker, it will probably come up with some ideas for you or pre-done templates that you can go in, adapt, edit, bump, 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 you're done. Add your own spin into it, add your own elements into it. And within, I would say, probably 4 hours, you've got a really awesome habit tracker that's personalized to you, branded, ready to go, that people are going to absolutely love. And therefore, you've created your first lead magnet that's a planner. Really, really simple. So goal setting planners, connecting dreams to your course selection. So goal setting planners help users articulate what they want, and this creates perfect awareness of the gap that your course fills. So if we're looking at setting a goal for someone, we can always make sure that it ties in with the objective of the course. So it definitely doesn't replace the course, but it makes them aware there's an element now that's created a hole. You need extra help in this course fill that hole for you. Implementation planners, so showing real results, before purchase. So dividing complex processes into manageable steps. So this is a strategy breakdown. Then action items. So create clear, specific tasks that produce visible results. Progress tracking, including methods to measure advancement and celebrate wins, and then next level prompts. Hint at what's possible with your full course solution. So there's quite a lot there to take in for the implementation planners. So the strategy breakdown, action items, progress tracking, and next level prompts. So there's sort of sections that you can have that will then lead them to a natural conclusion that your full course is going to be the next stage for them. Habit trackers. So building momentum towards course enrollment, and habit trackers, I think, are quite self-explanatory in a lot of ways, as in this is where they start to add things in, they start to look at what they're doing. They maybe lacking motivation, consistency, guidance on where they need to be. So let's say, for example, it was a fitness habit tracker, and they were focusing on doing 1,000 steps a day. And that's what they were trying to track. And then they kept missing days and they didn't know how to offset that, and they were worried about it. Then the full course may well be a larger course on how to increase your daily fitness, not only by walking, but by doing other stuff. And that's where this would lead them naturally through into some other form of course, rather than just looking at the step count only. This then opens up their mind to other things that they can do. So the tracker helps them recognize there's holes in what they're doing. They're not consistent. They're not getting the result they want necessarily because there's a lack of consistency. It was raining that day. The dog did this. Had got called into work last minute because I was on call. All of these types of things. Well, if you take the full course, then the goal of this course is to help you, no matter how your day looks, to complete your fitness goals for that day. Pretty good, I think. So project management templates, solving immediate pain points. So timeline templates help users visualize project flow from start to finish. Task assignment matrices clarify responsibilities and prevent important steps from falling through the cracks. And then resource allocation, enabling better management of time, money, and energy. And this again will lead directly into when people are going through things like this, they find it really hard to break down and be absolute with things. So therefore, what they're looking for is they're looking for an easier, better way to do what they're currently doing. The project management template will help them solve some of their immediate problems, but there'll still be gaps there. There'll still be things that are falling through, which is where the course comes in and picks up that part and moves them to the next stage of advanced project management. You know, how do you do this with ease? How do you get your team to do this rather than you just doing it for them? How do you make it so everybody can get involved and it not ruin the whole plan? And then self-assessment frameworks, creating an awareness of needs. So assessment area, current skills inventory. I mean, there's loads of ideas here. Forward-looking course content, improved outcomes, promised systems taught in a course. There's a lot going on there. I'm not going to go through all of those. So the next question that we have to answer, let me just take a quick slurp. I'm actually getting through this really quick. This might not be 2 hours.
All right, Kevin, there's lots of questions.
Is it?
I've got lots of questions for you.
Okay, cool. Right. Let's carry on then. So if, by the way, you are watching this and you do want to come on live with us, I'm probably going to ask David to open up so you can join us on Zoom. Hang on, let me just show you my excited face with that. Join us on Zoom. Because we do, we love it when you come on Zoom with us and you can get involved and we can interact with you. It's so much easier than, it's great if you're watching it on Facebook, but there is a time lag from when we're on Zoom and it's on Facebook and we sit there twiddling our thumbs for about 30 seconds for it to go backwards and forwards. We love seeing smiley faces on here, right? So I'll ask David at the appropriate time to go, stick the link in, David, let's go. And we'll, like always, I like to cause a little bit of disruption and chaos in wherever I go. And it's just me doing my thing, right? So when we get to that point, and remember, we're only on planners. I haven't even looked at challenges yet. So there's still a way to go. So we'll open that up in a bit. Let's get cracking with this and I'll turn me off again so you haven't got to look at me and you can focus on what we're looking at. Right, deep breath. Digital versus printable planners, choosing the right format. Now, there is an argument to be held here, and I've sort of tried to cover both sides of the argument. I often think it's good to give people the choice, but here's the pros and cons of both. So digital planners, we can put interactive elements in there, right, in a digital planner, which can't be done on a printed planner, of course. It's easy to update and to distribute, right? So if we need to add bits in, take bits out, change the way that we're going to start delivering it or whatever, it's really easy to do. There are no printing costs. Obviously, it's digital, so it's really easy. There are sometimes compatibility issues with people on different devices. It doesn't quite work right, it doesn't quite look right. We get less of that these days because it tends to work quite well, especially if you stick to things like Canva templates or Excel spreadsheets or stuff like that. What you can do with these things now is just phenomenal. So there are still some compatibility issues, but generally speaking, it looks okay. So that for me is a little bit of a 50-50 one. A bigger issue is you need clients that understand a little bit of tech. They don't need to know a lot, but they need to know a little bit. And what happens is you can give them either full editing rights, in which case they sort of just mess up the whole thing and they're moving columns and changing this, and suddenly it's all lost and it's all messed up and they don't know what's going on. Or you can just add in where they can just type in specific things, but you know what, the box might not be big enough, or it's in, you know, they're not quite sure how to use it properly. Some of them using it on their phone, but we've sort of designed it because we want it done on a desktop and things like that. So the tech savvy bit of the audience, you sort of got to instruct them on how to use it. Otherwise, they'll just go off and do their own thing, and it won't always come out with the result that you're looking for. I like digital planners because I think they're really easy to distribute and to get people using immediately. You know, and that's what I really like about it. There are ways of locking out different parts of your planner, um, you know, so they can't edit it and they can only edit the bits that you want, which really helps. But yeah, so I like digital planners. Printable planners. Now, Sarah, my partner, she loves printed planners, and to a degree, I sort of like them. I get it, but they end up stacking up everywhere, and I don't always use them to their full potential. People do like to hold stuff in their hand, right? We've become such a digital age now, a digital world where everything is delivered through a screen. Sometimes people just like to have something that they can hold with a good old-fashioned pen or paper, or in my case, a quill and ink, or whatever it may be, you know, just to get that. And it the way that your brain reacts to that is slightly different to the way that our brain reacts to something digital. So that's something not to be looked over and ignored and put to one side as not important, because it actually is important. There are, of course, no technology barriers. There is a higher perceived value to a printable planner. Now, a printable planner, let me make this clear, a printable planner, and I've got printing costs there for users, can be delivered in two ways. So it can either be delivered as a download where they print themselves, or it can be delivered on a print on demand service. And there's multiples of those out there where you upload your planner, you say, and you could still give it to them for free. You pay the printing costs of that, right? And that's your loss leader, if you like. I've done that before myself. It works quite well if you're very specific in who you're giving. I mean, you wouldn't want to give thousands of them away, but if you were doing a special open, we talked about the FOMO right at the beginning. If you were saying, right, I've got 20 of these to give away as lead magnets, right? And this is what this plan is going to be on. And it's going to be a hardback book. It's going to be this, that, and the other. Maybe your printing cost is a tenner, right? And you're giving 10 away, it's 100 quid. But if you bring in a client that's buying your course, one client out of the 10 that you send out, then that might be someone coming into a £900 course, right? So it's cost you 100 quid. You've got 900 quid sale. You've made £800, right? So it makes sense. Um, so, or you could get them to print it themselves. Now, that does present other issues, as in, do they have a printer? Do they just want to print it in black and white, but you've done it in color because it's more impactful in color? You know, and all of that. Have they run out of ink? Is their printer not been turned on since 1996 or anything like that? So there are some barriers there. And of course, it's not as easy to update these. So there's pros and cons for both. I personally think having a combination of both is a good idea because it picks up people that work in different ways. You know, I know some real stationary geeks that love nothing more than to get a proper planner or a pen or something like that come through. You know, and they're all over it. And whatever you said to them afterwards, they'll just buy it because they love the planner so much, right? Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that's everybody in the world, but this is knowing your audience. This is knowing who your people are, right? So you've got to work out which one works well. For example, if you're a dog trainer, and we've got a lot of dog trainers in Zenler, and you're taking them through a planner, so a habit tracker maybe for their dogs, having a digital planner when you're asking them to go out in the cold and they've got thick gloves on and it's raining and all of that might not be such a good idea. Whereas maybe if they had a printed planner and it was a small format printed planner, that might work better for them. I don't know. You know, on the flip side of that, the dog might chew the printed planner up, and therefore a digital one might be exactly what they want. Ask your audience, poll them, get their feedback, and then do what they want, right? Because that's the idea. So, digital versus printable, no right or wrong answer to that. but it is really understanding the benefits and the drawbacks of both. And if you want to offer both or just start with one. And of course, the digital planner is the free version. That costs you nothing to put that together. So designing planners that convert. So we need, throughout your planners, we need consistent branding. So we can do this easily these days. If you go into, I talk about Canva a lot because it's one of the easier ones to use. You can set up brand guides now, brand spaces. Have got all your logo and your colors and your fonts. You bang all that in there, and whatever you make, you can just apply it into whatever you're creating. So consistent branding these days should never be an issue. Whatever you do on your sites, and if you've got a web person doing stuff for you, get that detail off of them, get your color codes off of them. If you don't know what your color codes are, they won't give them to you. There's color pickers you can get for free, which you can just literally get the codes off of the screen. Really, really easy. Same with your fonts, they should be telling you what that is. If you've not had an actual branding person come in and your web person's just done it, they can tell you what they're using. So just ask them, and then it makes it very consistent throughout. It's really important to have lots of white space. So avoid over cramming. So this might be hard if you're thinking about doing a physical planner. You might want to try and reduce that page count down, but it won't do you any favors because if people are not using it, the whole thing's wasted anyway. So lots of white space in there so it feels nice and airy, lots of space for people to not feel overwhelmed and to be able to use it appropriately. You do need to give clear instructions for how to use each section effectively. If you don't, they will guess or they will just stop using it. And either one of those is not an option. We need to be really clear on saying, in this section, this is how you use it. This is what this is done. This is what you need to do in this part. This is what this box is for. That's what that section's for. You're their guide. They're relying on you to tell them what to do, and they will do what you ask, providing you make it really clear. Now, that doesn't mean writing War and Peace as an instruction point, but really clear, specific, maybe bullet points. Do this, do this, do this, done. Do this, do this, do this, done. And then that's it. So, and then littered throughout your free planner, you can put success stories in. So brief testimonials for people who have used similar methods. And what that's doing is it's just showing that other people have been through this. Maybe other people have been through it. Maybe you've got clients that you've given it to. Maybe it's been part of a course that you've done and you're now putting it out as a free lead magnet where you can show that there's been some success by using this method or using this technique has gained this person to do that or this or that or whatever. And litter those throughout the planner that you're looking to give away. So just like anything else, we need to ensure that there's a call to action in our planner. Now, the whole purpose of a planner is that, yeah, we're going to nurture them through stuff, we're going to help them through and all of that. But if somebody's ready to buy right now, which some people probably will be, we want to make sure that it's really easy for them to go and buy, right? Why would we not want to do that? It makes complete sense. So subtle course references without hard selling. Don't go, buy my course here. It's whatever. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is make subtle course references as you go through, maybe in some of the instructions, maybe on the end page, or wherever it is. Just find the appropriate place to put it in, just so it's there. And it's really easy for people to get involved if they want to. Connected content, so link to other free training videos that expand on the planner concepts. So if you're going through dog training and you've got a let's say you've got a feeding guide on there, so you're using a tracker maybe on what your dog's eating because you're worried maybe it's overweight or whatever, and that does happen with dogs for sure. You could have connected content that talks about different types of diets for dogs, and it doesn't affect what your course we're on because your course might be, exercising overweight dogs from overweight to healthy, right? So it's supporting content for the planner rather than taking away from the course itself. And then include testimonials that bridge the planner to course results. So from what we're getting them to do in the planner, and we're getting them to go through the startings of one solution, a micro solution, to solve that micro problem, and then the course solves the bigger problem, the bigger issues going on. What we want to include testimonials from the bigger course into the planner so people can get inspired, see that people have gone through stuff and it's worked for them. Of course, they've got to be real testimonials. They can't be made up. They've got to be real. But when you litter those through in your planner, people will really start to sit up and go, you know what, I'm inspired. This person's done that. They've done that. Maybe I want to start exploring a little bit more, seriously thinking about what the course is and the next step for me. Phew. So that's planners, right? Who's ready to look at challenges? Look, we're only halfway through and it's been 50 minutes already. Gosh, I could talk for England, can't I? So we've just carried on. We've just done planners. So there's a lot to comprehend in there. Now, I don't want you to sit there making lots of notes on this. There will be a replay of this where you can go back and you can watch it at your leisure, and freeze the screen and pause the bits that you need to, take screenshots and whatever you need to do. But, I did say there's going to be a huge amount of stuff in here that we're going to cover, and it's going to be really awesome. But planners, the whole purpose of this particular day was in the slot for me is lead magnets, planners, and challenges. So planners is part one. So we've done the first half now. Now we're moving on to challenges, and I love a good challenge. We all know that. I introduced them into Zenler when I came in on the education team. We started doing a lot of that stuff. I've done them for years and years and years. I know the advantage to it, and we see it all over the place. Wherever you go on the internet, you see people doing challenges. At different lengths, different things, different objectives, featuring and looking at different elements. And it's really a great way of getting people engaged with what you're doing to take them to the next stage. So let's get into challenges and see where this heads us. So challenges as a lead magnet. So there's a massive amount of engagement when we get involved in a challenge, and you can do challenges in different ways. People can go through on their own, they can go through as cohorts, they can, when I've seen people go through some of the workshops we do, we call them workshops. They could in essence be called challenges, but there's a different feel to it. It's about community building, and it does create a really good connection between the participants that are gone through or graduated through a challenge. It does create momentum. So activities do build anticipation. There's immediate results, and quick wins. It really does boost people's confidence in what you're doing as an instructor, as the person leading these challenges, and therefore people like that immediacy of that's worked for me. I like that. I've done that. I've achieved that. I did that today. I didn't do that this morning, but by this afternoon I've done that. And it demonstrates your coaching style. So as a instructor, as someone teaching something, it's a really, really great way of showing people exactly what they can expect when they come into one of your paid courses. You have to treat it that way. Even if it's free, you have to treat it really, really seriously, as if someone's paying you £10,000 a day for doing that. You have to treat it as in, this is my most important client in the room. Even if we do it as Zenler, right? We make no distinction between if you have a pro, a premium, or a free account, right? We treat everybody like they're the most important people when they come into our workshops, when they come into the live support desk, whether they come on to David Zenler. It doesn't matter what account you have, you are all our VIPs. And when you challenge participants the same way, and they see your coaching style, then they will either go, you are absolutely for me, right? I love the way that you teach. I love the way you present yourself. I like your accent. I can really get on with what you're doing and how you're going. Or they'll go, it's not for me, right? I've gone through your stuff. Your stuff's quite good, but I can't get on with this, that, or the other. I'm not going to go any further with it. But thank you very much. It's been great and it's sort of like a pre-qualification without going through a typical pre-qualification. The ones that go through and go on to other things will probably stay with you for a long time. Okay, that's generally how it works. The ones that leave, they leave with our well wishes, and we go, that's great. You can absolutely, there was no expectation for you to pay us to do anything. This was, we put this together to help you. Right, that's our primary goal. Secondary goal is we get to demonstrate our skill and expertise, build a really great community, get you winning some stuff if you want, but you get to understand what we're like as either an individual coach or instructor or as a team of coaches and instructors. And you see this in our workshops that we run here at Zenler, that, you know, I'll come in and I'll do, like, let's look at the most recent Tour of Zenler workshop that we did. Right, I'll go in and do day one. That's my style. Right, David will come in and do day two. That's his style. Mamit will come in and do day three. That's her style. Rakesh will do day four. That's his style. And although we're all working on the commonality of that particular workshop, that's our goal, is to complete that workshop. Right, we're all taking an element, and some people will go, right, I like David as an instructor and Rakesh as an instructor. Not so keen on them two. What courses have they done within that company? And they might want to levitate towards those, right? And that's fine. And then you'll get some people that go, right, I'm not so keen on David's style. I like Kevin's style. What's he done? Right? And they'll go through that. So if you've got a team of instructors, you can get them through creating the challenge stuff as well. If it's just you, that's fine. And a lot of people, it's just you. And there's absolutely no problem with that. But it does get to you to really showcase you as an instructor and how you work with potential students in an environment where you're getting them to achieve something. So it's really, really a VIP experience to deliver a challenge effectively. So the anatomy of a high converting challenge. So clear outcome promise. Specific result participants will achieve. A structured daily tasks. I like daily tasks. Progressive actions building towards an outcome. Accountability system, methods to track and share progress, and a celebration framework, recognition of achievements and milestones. So I often refer back to the 30-day blogging challenge that we've been involved in for many, many years. If we break it down into what this is, so our clear outcome promise, after 30 days, you will have 30 blog posts that are optimized for your business and published. Really clear. Okay. Okay, great. 30. Structured daily tasks. Every day we will email you and teach you how to write a blog post. Simple. Okay, fine. No problem. Accountability, methods to track and share progress. You will be added to our Facebook group, and every day you publish a blog post, you will have to go in there and go, this is my day one post with a link to your blog post. That's self-accountability. And then celebration framework. After so many days, we'd go in and we'd recognize people in our Facebook group and go, so-and-so's just done their 10th post. So-and-so's done their 20th post. So-and-so's just completed their 30th post. Hooray, rah, 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 and give them a load of stuff. So that's clearly defining how it works in a real life example. Okay. Now you need to work out what that will be for you within your challenge. Now, a challenge doesn't have to be 30 days. It can be all sorts of days. And we'll get into that right now. So 5 days versus 7 days versus 30 days, choosing the right length. And now I've done all of these. I've done 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Okay, so I've done pretty much all of them. And there's a good reason why you should have maybe a mix. With Zen, we started doing 5-day boot camps. We've changed that slightly now. We do it slightly differently. But if you look at the completion rate and then the conversion rate, you'll understand why the difference in the length makes a difference in the way that you approach it. So a challenge length of 5 days, so you can get some quick wins. This is for people that tend to be, I'm really busy, I haven't got time to do stuff, etc., etc. So you get a high completion rate because people will commit for 5 days. Yeah, I can do it this week. I'm off this week, right? Maybe it'll take me 6 days, but I'll get it done. So the completion rate of the challenge is high, but the conversion rate of them coming into the next stage of buying, let's say buying your course, is quite low. So 10 to 15%. The 7 day challenge, so a couple of extra days on there. There's more balance and depth, and there's a little bit of more of a commitment on there. So the completion rate goes down a little bit, so 60 to 70%. And the conversion rate just trickles up a little bit because they've had a little bit more exposure to you, your content, and the results that you're looking to help them achieve. And then we go to a 30 day. Now, this is very much about forming a particular habit. And, it's really hard to form a habit in 7 days. 7 days is a concerted effort. It's a sprint. I'll commit to something for 7 days, but then if I never touch it again, it won't bother me whatsoever. If you commit to something for 30 days, then it's really easy for people to continue at maybe a slightly reduced level. So what I found with this is if people go through a 30-day challenge, so we'll use my blogging challenge as an example. They'll go through 30 days blog posts. They'll write for 30 days. Some days they're up until 10 to midnight getting that post out because they've made that commitment to themselves and their business and their families to get it done. And they have pain, they have tears, they have revelations, they have all sorts of epiphanies as they're going through this, that their business isn't working, they're making the wrong offers, they're not liking their audience, they wanted to change this, and they go through this whole roller coaster emotional ride within our 30-day blogging challenge. And at the end of it, when they come out of it, they go, that was amazing. It's almost like therapy without a therapist, and I'm so clear on what I do. Now, here's the kicker: only 30 to 40%, and that's generous, will complete a 30-day challenge. I'd probably go maybe a little bit lower than 40%. But the conversion rate goes up. So it then trickles up to 20 to 30% of once they've created that habit and they're looking for that next stage. They've had that journey with you, whether you've been with it with them, you've held their hand, you've seen all the tears and tantrums and everything else in between, and you've been there as a stable influence, helping them, guiding them, instructing them, all of those things. They've come through the other end, they've had that massive burst of wow, I've done it. They've then gone, right, what now? What do I do now? They're excited for the next bit. You don't tend to get that so much with a 5 to 7 day challenge, which is why their conversion rates are slightly lower. When they come out of a 30-day challenge and then they're doing nothing, they feel like they're missing something. They feel like they want to continue something and they're not quite sure. They feel a sense of almost loss that they've been with you or the group or their cohort or whoever for that period of time. And then they're like, well, what now? What do I do now? I've got all this time that I'm not doing these posts every day. I feel like I should do something because that's the habit that's starting to form. So you have to work out what's appropriate for your people. So busy people, really busy people are never going to do a 30-day challenge. They're going to be in the 60 to 70% and never complete it, right? Which is no good for you. You want completion rates. You want people to complete. So if they're really busy, stick them in a 5 to 7 day challenge. If they have time on their hands and they're happy to go through a learning process, 30 to 60 day challenges are great. If they have a bit of time, but they're still busy, a 14-day challenge, 10 to 14 day can work quite well. So work out what it is that you want and how you can create the right length of challenge for the right audience. And again, it might be that you create one of two of these and split it out. So this was a case study. So this was from a 7-day challenge, and Jason earned 50K out of this. So he had 1,200 people come through his challenge, signed up through Facebook ads, high engagement rate. So percentage who completed at least one task. So that's not every task, but one task. Then they were invited to come to a webinar. So they attended a sales webinar challenge at the end. They attended the sales webinar at the end of the challenge. So they've gone through engagement rate 85%, 7-day challenge. They complete at 85% completed one task. The ones that completed one task were invited to a webinar. Out of those that agreed, 42% came up, showed up on the webinar, and that converted into an 8% conversion rate and purchased a 997 course offering. So you can see you don't need massive conversion rates and even on a 7-day launch, 8% conversion rate, I'd say is quite low. But, to get a 42% sharp on a webinar is quite good. So, and getting at least 85%, and majority of those will be in day 1 and day 2. But ultimately, he ran that live and he earned 50K out of it. And that was way more than what he put into Facebook ads and what it took him to actually run that challenge. So, definitely 7-day ones do work. So, challenge topics that naturally lead to course purchases. So, establish prerequisite skills and mindsets needed for course success. So, foundation builders, problem spotlights, increasing awareness of issues your course solves. Provide a small taste of your signature process or system. So that could be if you've got a big program that you take people through, your challenge may be the first module or the first couple of lessons that you do and change the way that it's delivered into a challenge to then feed them naturally into the next step for them via a bit of nurturing into your course. And then quick wins. So fast results to build confidence in your approach. So they understand that the way you do stuff works because they've experienced it, they've gone through your challenge and they've had some wins and it works. So they want the next bit. So this is a really great way of thinking about how we can have some really straightforward the process behind our challenge to be able to get people to go, this is good, I want more, I'm going to look at buying that course. And of course, there is nurturing in between these. Now, on a challenge, there's less nurturing needed, especially on the longer challenges, because you're doing your nurturing as you're going through with them. So rather than when we looked at the planner, where it's here's a planner, you can't then just go, by the way, here's my course. You've got to do a sequence of nurturing. With challenges, you need to do less of that. Right, creating challenge materials that showcase your teaching style. So daily worksheets, guided action steps that reflect your teaching methodology, video trainings. We all know how to do these. Short instructional content that demonstrates your delivery style, or live interaction sessions that showcase your coaching approach. We've seen all of these within how the education team deliver stuff here at Zenler. So none of this is new to you. And I'm pretty sure you've all done this within a lot of the courses that you're creating. So building community through challenges. So this is what we call the belonging factor. So when people go through a challenge, it's really great. We talked about, I said to you about getting people to post in a Facebook group, their posts for day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all of that stuff. And we could do that, of course, in Zenler community now as well. So it's not hard to do. We can set up a challenge community within Zenler if you're on a paid program. Bump, 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 1, 2, 3, whatever, however you want to do it. And what it does is it creates that shared experience. So people going through the same process, and that creates a connection. It creates a connection with the community and it creates a connection with you as an instructor. They feel a real belonging and they feel they belong to a particular type of group. And I'd really look at some of you that have gone through our workshops that have been with Zenler for quite some time. I think, and the impression I've got is that a lot of you feel a really strong belonging to Zenler as a group, in the Facebook community, Zenler as a company, and you feel very much like you have an identity within this group, and that you belong here. And that's through going through the live stuff that we do and the interactions that we have in the community. So we've got peer support. So participants encourage and help each other. So if people get stuck on stuff, specifically within a challenge, people can go in and ask questions within a community and other people help. A bit like the Q&As, the questions that come into the Facebook group in Zenler. People will ask something, somebody else will answer. It's great. And there's also that public accountability. So commitment is strengthened through visibility. So you put up, I'm doing this, I've just joined this challenge. It's great. My day 1's tomorrow. Everyone expects your day 1 to be tomorrow. You've made yourself accountable to that group. So the community side of having a challenge is really, really underrated, and it really helps with completion rates because people get that support and that experience. And it's not all done by you as the instructor; it's done by the community as well. And then people get involved in being a community member, an active community member, rather than a passive community member. Um, yeah, you're going to get some passive ones that sit there, do it, never post it. And I've seen people do this before, and suddenly you'll get a private message going, "I've just done my 30th post." Great, they're not in the group. No, but here's a list. Okay, why didn't want to share them in the group? Okay, that's fine, but you've done it. That's brilliant. And then you get to understand why people want to do it that way, and some will. Others want to come in and they want to fully embrace the whole experience and go, right, I'm definitely in this community. I'm going to make some friends. We're going to go through as cohorts. Some people even go through these challenges a couple of times. It's not just a one and done thing sometimes. Um, so think about how that may look for you. What would you do if somebody wanted to go back through it again? How could you handle that and deliver that experience from? So yeah, it's a really important one is the community side of challenges and getting people to feel they belong, right? And you're the leader of that belonging experience. So challenge delivery methods, email versus community versus live. So these are really the three ways or combination of ways that you can deliver a challenge. So email delivery. So we can do this in Zenler. You can set up a funnel and just set an automation up and deliver it that way. Really, really simple to do. So easy to set up, fully automatable. So once it's set, it's a set and forget. It's a private experience for them as in they'll get that email. You can add in some personalization into the emails as well. Maybe a little bit lower engagement if it's just emails backwards and forwards and there's no other support areas, but there's minimal tech required. So it's really easy to do, really easy to put out. So delivering your challenge via a community platform. So that could be putting posts up each day, scheduling posts to go out, or just putting a post up. This is day one, this is day two, this is day, and all of that. You get your peer interaction, content centralization, so it's all in one place. Often searchable archives if you want it. There's a platform learning curve, and there is, of course, moderation needed within that. And then there's, of course, live delivery. So this is where you get the highest amount of engagement. Every day at 1 p.m., I'm going to turn up and we're going to go through for 5 days this challenge. That's the highest level of engagement. Real-time adjustments can be made. There's a personal connection. It's time intensive because you've got to be there and present, and the schedule coordination needs to happen as well. Now, I think that you could probably incorporate all three of these. Um, Maybe not so much the live delivery, because if you're looking at taking people on an evergreen thing, i.e., they can join Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever, rather than in batches, and that's a thing that you need to think about. Do I bring them all in the first day of the month, deliver it all live for 5 days, and then after they're done, just work on bringing the next lot in, start on the first of the month, bring them in for 5 days and do it like that? Or do you want it done via email, which is the easiest way, and just go, right, you can join whenever you like, at whatever time of the day you like. You'll get your email. This is your 24 hours later email, 24 hours later email, and then post in our community. And then maybe do a live once a week that covers everybody going through the challenge, no matter at what point they're at. So there's multiple different ways of doing it and combinations of doing it. So the tech stack for challenge delivery, keeping it simple. So email service provider you'll need a landing page builder, a community platform, and a video hosting. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Pretty much Zenler can do all of these. Well, not pretty much. It definitely can do all of it. It has an email service provider. You can set automations up in the funnel area. We've got landing page builder. Set up a funnel. It's got a landing page, or you can set your own page up with a form. Really easy. We've got the brand new community platform, and of course, there's video hosting involved as well. So, yeah, there's other ones that as you go through them, there's ConvertKit and lead pages, and I've added those in just to sort of give a rounded view of it all. But if you want to explore the other ones, you'll need different ones for different things. But look at what's the commonality in all of these. Zenler does them all. They don't all do them all. So you'd need a combination of two or three of these to deliver this type of challenge. Whereas in Zenler, you can do the whole thing. Anyway, it's not a pitch for Zenler. It's just pure facts. So email sequences that convert challenge participants. So let me just quickly grab a drink as my throat is starting to go. How are we doing? 4 past. Wow.
How are you doing, Kevin? You're doing really well.
Yeah, throat's just drying up. Did you know that I think it's after every 7 or 8 minutes of talking when you're a presenter, you're meant to sip room temperature water because you dehydrate at such a high level. That's why they're always sipping water when they're on these talk shows because they constantly dehydrate through not drinking properly. Anyway,
Yeah, hydration's a massive, massive problem. When you're doing these long sessions, as soon as you go over that 30, 40 minutes, then it becomes a killer for you. So
it
as
does.
you know, Kevin, because you've been talking now for a long time.
Honestly, I thought I'd be done after about half an hour, but I'm still going. So, which is hopefully everyone's enjoying it.
Oh
Again,
yeah,
some
fantastic.
great value from it. But we're getting to the end of it now. So get your cameras ready. You don't need to do your hair and makeup. I haven't done mine today, so don't worry about it. You could just come on with us as you are. We're absolutely inclusive of everybody, no matter what. So let's get into this. Email sequences that convert challenge participants. So let me just turn myself off again. So welcome and orientation, set expectations and get participants excited to begin. This is probably one of the most important ones that never gets done, right? If someone's signed up for a challenge, you need to get them excited that you're excited that they're there. Yeah, you've joined. This is awesome. Are you ready to transform this, to achieve this, to get this done? Yes, we're so happy that you're here. So it's a really important one. Then we have our daily challenge emails if we're doing daily. So this is to deliver instructions, motivations, and success. Engagement reminder emails, nudge those falling behind to rejoin the challenge. So if you have the ability to look at emails that have not been opened or not been actioned, or you're noticing people falling off, that's a bit more of an advanced one. You can set it so it will just get people to re-engage. We can connect challenge accomplishments to few further results possible with your course. So this is the bridge sequence. So this is where you take them from after they've had their reminders to re-engage. This is the part where we start to give them the idea that actually there's more available for them after they've finished this particular challenge. And yeah, it's going to be paid, but you know what? If we've given you all this huge value for nothing because it's in a lead magnet, which is exactly what this is, even though it's a challenge, it's going to be absolutely awesome for you. So measuring lead magnet performance, key metrics. I'm not going to go through all of these. You can look at this at your leisure. It's quite self-explanatory. So these are planners versus challenges. It's all there. So the planners are these ones, the challenges are these ones. So planners opt-in rates, it's higher for challenges. Consumption rate is higher. Engagement score is higher. And conversion rate is higher for a challenge. But it does take a huge amount more work. So it really does matter. There's still some good rates here. Some conversion rates are still good for the planner, but that's much more hands-off, whereas the challenge is much more hands-on. But then it does show in the results, but not as much as you think. That's not a massive, massive gap, but you can see every single one, it's more. But I thought I'd throw that in just for good measure, just to keep you on where we are. So the lead to sale journey. So mapping the customer path. So discovery, potential student finds your lead magnet offer. Yes. Opt-in, they exchange their email for your valuable, super valuable resource. Consumption, they use your planner or they participate in your challenge. Engagement, they interact with your follow-up content. So once they've done the planner, the challenge, all of that, they're in with your follow-up stuff. Conversion, they purchase your course as the logical next step. And the key word in here is logical, right? It's not a false next step. It's not a disconnected next step. It's the planner or the challenge has to lead them to making the assumption, the correct assumption, that the next real step for them to progress in whatever it is your paid course. If you do not make that connection, it will not work and your conversions will plummet. So it's that logical next step is really, I can't stress out. I should have put that in big, bold, 5 million text, right? Because it's that important. And it's done naturally, it's done conversationally, it's done easily, it's done, yeah. So I've really enjoyed this. I've done this. What am I looking at next? What's next? Oh, great. They've sent me a little couple of follow-up emails. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, I want that. I need that. Right. Oh, they've got this going on. Let me click that. That feels right. Yeah, I've learned a little bit about that. I want to go deeper into that. I'm going to go and get that course. Right. That's how it works. So ethical considerations, delivering real value first. So standalone value. Your lead magnet should provide meaningful results, even if they never buy. And I said this right at the beginning, right? We have to give without expectation. It is a way of filtering people through, and it really does reflect on you as a course creator and a marketer of your business, of how you treat people. They're all our VIPs, right? Our lead magnet people are all VIPs. It doesn't matter. Don't exaggerate what your free resource can help. Under promise, over deliver. Right, given that way factor, that it's going to knock their socks off. They're going to be so amazed with it. They're going to go, how can you give that for free? That is amazing. Be transparent about how you'll use their contact information. So if you're gonna follow up with staff, you're gonna put them on a list or whatever. We need to do that. We should do that anyway. It's put GDPR stuff aside for 1 minute, right? We should be doing that anyway as decent marketing people. We should be saying, this is what we're going to do with your information. We're not going to sell it on. We're not going to sell it to a dog food company because, I might make 10 pence on every bag that you buy. What we're going to do is you're here. We're really grateful you're here. You are a VIP person for us, and we're going to make sure that your information is kept really secure. And we're only going to message you with stuff that's relevant to this lead magnet, and then communicate what happens after they download or sign up. So you'll receive an email from this email address. We're going to email you every day for 20 days, 30 days, 15 days, 7 days. If you don't get that email, click here, contact us. Right? Here's where you can get support. If your download doesn't work, click here. We'll help you out. Right? VIP experience, really important. Common lead magnet mistakes to avoid. Don't we love a good mistake? Right, overwhelming and complexity. So creating resources that require too much time or expertise to use effectively. It's really, we're in Zenler, right? We're in the mecca of making stuff complicated. I don't think I've ever met a group of people that can make something easy so complex. The whole purpose of a lead magnet is make it easy for them to get quick wins. Something you might think it's too easy, but you have to remember that people learning this are probably experiencing it for the first time. So we have to stop it being overwhelming, because if we overwhelm them, it stops them in their tracks. If they think it's too difficult, they won't do it. So we have to make sure that whatever we create doesn't take up too much time, and they don't need real expertise to complete it. What they need to do is just follow what we're asking them to do. So poor course alignment, offering content that doesn't naturally connect. I talked about that with the logical next step, right? There has to be that connection. Creating resources that don't showcase your unique approach or methodology, generic content. Don't go into ChatGPT and go, create me a lead magnet for this, right? Because there'll probably be a million of them out there. We need to create resources that wow our people, that give them something that has your unique perspective on it. And it may be that they know the how, but not the why, or the way that it's implemented, or your particular spin on it. And definitely don't deliver something of low production quality. So make sure you put some time into creating. We talked about professional design. using things like Canva and stuff like that. There's no excuse for low production quality. Um, you could go on to places like Fiverr now and get people to design stuff for you if you're not too sure about it. There's really easy ways to get stuff done now, um, but it will damage your professional credibility if you do not look at the quality of what you're putting out. Whether that's and that doesn't mean you've got to go, oh, I've got this going wrong with my sound or my cat. As long as you've tried your best and you've focused on quality, you'll improve as you go through. With the planner, it's not a case of improving as you go through. You've got to get it right first time. When you're delivering live stuff, it's a bit different because you'll get better as you go through and you practice and you start to get better. So yeah, just bear that in mind as you're creating. So positioning your lead magnet for maximum appeal. Well, I'm turning myself off again. So problem focus, emphasize the specific issue it solves. Highlight the before and after state, stress how quickly it delivers results, and then feature your distinctive methodology in the way that you approach that particular thing. So they're really the key points on how to make sure that people actually sign up for your lead magnet. So crafting headlines that grab attention. So these focus on specific outcomes. They create curiosity gaps and they use power words. If you don't know what a power word is, Google it and you'll come up with a whole heap of different ones. And they speak directly to your ideal student. So this really has to be the headline for your lead magnet. It's no different to a headline to a sales page, to a blog post or anything like that. If you're struggling with it, go and use AI. Say, look, create me a really awesome headline for, I'm doing a lead magnet. This is what it does. This is what it solves. This is who it's for. Create me 5 different variations of a opt-in headline for this, and it will probably give you some really good ideas. So don't stress too much about it. Don't let it be something that holds you back. So creating landing pages that convert for your lead magnets. We've talked a lot about this. We need a compelling headline. We need a visual preview. So this is mock-up images. Again, we can use Canva for this. We showed how to do this in a couple of the workshops we did before Christmas. David gave a template out in that particular workshop. You go to Canva, just do mock-ups, put mock-ups in there and it will give you an idea. Screenshot what you've got in your planners or in your challenge and then stick them in there. Clear benefit bullet points, so 3 to 5 outcomes that they'll achieve. Really simple opt-in form. And then if you've got testimonials who have gone through your or used your particular resource, then add them in there as well. This is not a sales page, right? We don't need to go through the whole ins and outs of this and that, and it's worth this much, and we don't need to do any of that, right? What we need to do, and the most important thing here is what they're going to achieve. What outcome, what was the thing that they will gain by using this planner or going through this challenge? What will they get? What will they achieve? What will they have learned? What have they have implemented or any of those? And remember, you're giving this for free. So they'll either opt in and they'll use it or they won't opt in, and that's fine. So we need action takers. We need people that they don't need massive convincing. If you've got your marketing right and you've got the right people coming along, the conversion rate on this should be quite high. So promotional strategies to get eyes on your offers. So obviously content marketing, blog posts. It's really easy. Write a blog post, call to action, stick a link, addressing related topics with lead magnet offers. So that's a really easy one to do. We can do this in Zenler, write blog posts all day long. And we can just write a blog post on a related topic and go, if you're struggling with this, click here. We've got this free planner. We've got this free challenge that we're running, blah, blah, blah. Just keep on doing that. And that will get people coming along. Being a guest on a podcast. So this is a really great way, very underused way of getting people, and it gets you in front of a new audience as well, of getting people into your free stuff. So look at podcast opportunities. Social media. Create different graphics, different interactions for different platforms, but make sure you put the right thing in the right place. And that will then help you get your, it's be a slower burn on social media because, interactions and that are up and down. but you can boost some posts and do different bits, do some reels and whatnot. And if you put it into your link tree on Instagram, stuff like that, it's all going to help. And then partner promotion. So cross promote with complementary course creators to share your audience. So if you find someone that is in a similar field to you but doesn't do exactly what you do, they've created something useful, you've created something useful, you promote theirs, they promote yours. However you want to do it, via email, in a group, in a blog post, however, it doesn't make any difference. Whatever way they want to do it is the right way. It's just getting that out there. And this has to be done sort of really, really enthusiastically, I would say. Don't expect to put one blog post out and get your lead magnet filled. You've got to do this. And really, so rather than focusing on sell my course, sell my course, sell my course, let the lead magnet do the selling for you. If you set it up properly, right, let your challenge do the selling for you. So all you're doing is giving stuff for free. Right, you're not promoting a course, you're not selling a course. All you're doing is going, would you like this? I'm giving this for nothing. I've got this planner. Do you want it? Do you want to I've got this challenge running. Do you want to come and join me for no? It's nothing. It costs you nothing. Right. And this is what people are looking for. And they will come and join you. And then what will happen is they'll come in, they'll get involved, and then your sequence will start to kick in. When they've finished doing whatever it is, they've gone through the planner, they've looked through all the subtle messages you put in there and the testimonials, all that. They've gone through their challenge, and then you're suddenly talking about, well, this is the natural lead on for you, blah, blah, blah. It does the selling for you. You don't need to be selling. So this really does help take that pressure off of you. So leveraging social proof in lead magnet marketing. So feature real feedback from social platforms about your lead magnet. So we can do that. Display tangible outcomes people achieve with your free resource. So we can put that into social media. That's really easy. And then highlight how many people have already benefited from your offer. So-and-so is our 1,000th member. That's our 50th member. We've had 10,000 people go through this since we started. Blah, blah, blah. Really helpful. So paid versus organic promotional strategies. I'm not going to go through these. I think I'm just looking at the time and I'm thinking, well, we know how paid and organic works. I'm much more inclined to do organic because I think it lasts longer. And if you understand it properly, then it's people trust organic more than they trust paid. If you've got paid stuff going out, they look at it, see it's featured or it's promoted or whatever, and then are they real or are they just trying to trick me? The way that you've got to be convincing on there is a bit more, whereas organic, they know you've put the effort in to be found. So have a look at that at your leisure and make some people go through a combination of both. So and do a little boost here and there or whatever. But it's up to you how you do that. So SEO optimization for lead magnet and landing pages. So keyword research, you've got to understand your audience. We've been through this before. Identify search terms your students will look when looking for those solutions. And this is the solution for your lead magnet. So if you're doing a challenge, then what are they typing in to find that challenge? What will it be that you can optimize for that will help them find what you're offering for free? Optimize title tags, so primary keywords in your page title, preferably near the beginning. Meta descriptions, if you don't know what they are, I'm not going to go into massive depth now. And semantic content structure, so using proper heading hierarchies, H1s, 2s, 3s, blah, 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 all of that. And using a combination of these on your landing page for your lead magnet will help you. Remember, don't overcomplicate it. But we said put an image up, make sure you put your tag on, your meta descriptions on there. We've talked about putting some bullet points in there. Make sure you put those in with the correct header tag on it. That all helps, right? And we've got the SEO bit on the funnels as well, the funnel pages when you build them in Zenler. So just fill that bit out. And it's just an extra little boost for you. So this is just a quick look at using Pinterest to drive lead magnet traffic, and it does work. I'll put Twitter in there, but who's using Twitter these days? Not me. So repurposing lead magnet content across platforms. So core lead magnet, your primary downloadable resource or challenge. Share it across multiple channels with calls to action. So strategic distribution. Pull out key concepts, tips, and frameworks and convert to platform specific media types. So this is really quite self-explanatory. It's basically taking your planner or your challenge and then going out and repurposing it across all of the different areas that we can. Pull out ideas, frameworks, whatever it is, repurpose it and get more people to come along to your lead magnet. That's the bottom line of it. So Facebook groups, strategic lead magnet sharing. So value first comments. So answer questions thoroughly before mentioning your resources as additional help. Be careful, like I said earlier, if you're in a group for time management and you start answering time management questions and you put your free resource in there, they might get the ump with you. If you're in a business group and they're asking time management questions saying, look, I've got a free resource, they're probably okay. There will be dedicated promo threads that you can share your lead magnet in. Look out for those groups, for the groups for where your audience will be, not where you want to be, but where they are. Look for partnering with group owners. And that can work really well if you get the right group owner that's open to understanding it and helping you. Or create your own community where your lead magnet is basically the entry ticket. So you could put that when people come and join, you could say, right, have you got this? Have you done that? Have you downloaded this? And that can work really well for you. Though that will take a bit more time. But in an open community in Zenler, what a great opportunity to be able to do that. So where it gets indexed as well and it's open so people can see it. So I'd strongly suggest if you've not explored that yet, that you do. So Instagram stories and reels for lead magnet promotion. So we know Instagram stories and reels are amazing at the moment. Lots of people are using it. It really does help. Just remember to put it in your link tree because of the amount of links that you can have on there, but that will really help you. And if your audience is on Insta, then you're going to do really, really well out of that. So email nurture post sequences post download. So welcome and delivery. Oh, I think I did this. No, I didn't. So welcome and delivery, how to implement the advice to ensure success, the story and concepts. So share your journey and how it relates to their situation. Feature your testimonials from students who started with your lead magnet, and then present your course as the natural next step. So after they've gone through your lead magnet, this is what some of the things that you can send them afterwards. That's what this one was for. So usage tips, context, your journey, how it relates to their situation, testimonials from students who started with your lead magnet and went through your course, and then present your course as the natural next step. Follow-up systems that drive course sales, and this is really important. So engagement monitoring. So track who uses your lead magnet most actively, and we can do this quite easily. If we look at people that are opening the emails that we're sending, if we look at the people that are posting in the groups that we're doing, if we poll people, if we take them maybe for a survey funnel, you know, and ask them questions based on what we've sent them, that's a really great way of tracking that. There's lots of different ways. We can segment them through behavior. So we can customize follow-up based on specific actions, and the survey funnel will be really good on that. We can use educational bridge events, so invite to training that connects the lead magnet to a course. So what I mentioned earlier, taking them to a webinar. So they take the lead magnet, they go through that. We then invite them into a webinar. Big conversion rate on the example I gave you that then takes them through to a course. Or we can directly converse with them with highly engaged prospects. So creating a content bridge between lead magnet and course. So we've got webinars, live training events that elaborate on lead magnet concepts, case studies, so stories of students who started with the lead magnet and achieved bigger results with the course, and then comparison content. So clear explanations of what the lead magnet provides versus the complete course. And that's really important, that one. That one most people miss out. Most people want to get them onto the case studies. Look, this so-and-so was transformed by doing this, blah, blah, blah. But what people want to know is what's the difference? What do I get with this and what do I get with that? And you can do that on a webinar as well. So upselling strategies from free to paid offerings. So comprehensive solution with full support for a premium course, deeper dive training on specific topics for a workshop or a masterclass, expanded collection of useful tools, a template bundle, and we start with the free valuable starter resource. So lead magnet at the bottom, template bundle, workshop or masterclass, premium course. So this could be a little flow that you take people through. You can jump stages, so you could go from here to here, or you could go from here to here to here to here, however you want to deliver that. So the fast implementation bonus strategy. So create a special bonus only available for quick action. So provide resources that help students get faster results, and then include private group membership for accountability. So offer direct feedback or review opportunity. And this is sort of like an accelerated thing that you're going to offer. So maybe they download your lead magnet and then you want to offer the first 10 people this quick implementation. I'm going to give you this extra. This is going to be something that's a limited time offer. And we're going to get this done real fast. So this could be for the 5-day challenge people, maybe, or the people that have a planner that have to have time to implement the planner. So, yeah. So lead magnet expiration dates, creating urgency. So offer your lead magnet only during specific times. We talked about cohorts. So bringing people on the first of the month. If it's a 5-day challenge, it's open for 5 days. Close it off when it's open, and then build your list up for the next one, which starts on the first of the next month. Send reminders about closing access to create action, and then regularly refresh and retire lead magnets to maintain scarcity. We talked about the 12-month cycle of having a challenge, having a planner, challenge planner, challenge planner. That then breaks down your live element if you're doing lives within your challenges, and therefore you might only do 3 or 6 a year rather than 12, and that might help you out. Seasonal lead magnets. So Q1, New Year focus, goal setting and fresh start themes. Q2, which is what we're in now, skill building and improvement topics. Q3, efficiency and systems, productivity and time saving angles. Q4, assessment and future preparation themes. And these really help if you can tie these in with how you're going to start to build out your lead magnet. So if we're now on Q2 and you're thinking, right, this is the skill building and improvement, but we've got productivity and time saving angles. How can we use a planner during that Q3 that will help my people? That's something that's going to be really useful for them. And then Q4 is about the future. It's about planning for the future, but maybe doing a challenge for the future. So all useful stuff. So refreshing your lead magnets, when and how. So we do a performance audit on our lead magnets. When do they stop drying up? When do the conversion rates start to drop off? The people coming in. Do we have a big surge, and then a week later we're getting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and then it's time, right, actually this is not performing as well as it did in the first month. Let's retire this, come back to it in 6 months. Let's change it out for this one. Surveys of users about what was helpful and what could be improved, because we can always upgrade what we do, whether that's a challenge or whether it's a planner. Update examples, statistics and methods to remain current. So that's a content refreshment, and then we can always do a visual redesign if necessary. And I always think it's really good to do different versions. So if you're doing a challenge, do version 2, version 3, version 4, because it shows that you've upgraded that, you've kept current with it, especially if you're in the marketing and sales field. What we were teaching in blogging 5 years ago is redundant now. What people are teaching now in SEO is going to be redundant in 3 years. So it's always good to keep those updates and version ones coming through. So segmenting your audience based on lead magnet choice. So I'm not going to go through that. You can take a look at that at your leisure. But segmentation, we talk about this all the time. Using tags, get them in a lead magnet, use a tag, get them in a survey, put a tag, and it will attribute it into their account. So when we're sending out other things and we're creating other automations or emails that we want to send out, we can include or exclude tags based on what they've done or what they haven't done. So I really like segmenting audiences, and it can be really, really helpful. So automation tools, obviously we've got email marketing, landing page, form and delivery workflow automations. The only one that Zenler does not do is the workflow automations. Zapier, Pablia, or Integromat can connect different systems up if you choose to use an external system. But to be perfectly honest, if you're on Zenler and you're on a paid plan, we can do the email stuff, we can do the landing pages, and we can definitely do the forms and the delivery of the tools. So it's really easy where you are right now. So the 3-month lead magnet plan. So the implementation timeline. So month 1, create and launch. So design your lead magnet, build your landing pages, set up delivery systems. Month 2, and this is an idea of how long it should take you to get it going. Probably quicker, but I'm being kind on this one. Month 2, promotion and optimization, execute marketing plan, monitor conversion metrics and make improvements, and then implement nurture sequence, create bridge content and open course enrollment. So by month 3, you should be selling on whatever it is that you're doing. So these are our success metrics based on downloads to actual sales. I'll let you see those at your leisure. Resources for creating professional lead magnets. So modern tools. We've got Canva. We know about Canva. We've got Google Docs for planners. We've got Excel for planners. We've got Zenler for challenges. We've got Zoom and Loom for videos. So the majority of the tools you'll need will be found within a combination of Google Docs, Canva, and Zenler. And pretty much that will give you everything you need to create something really quite spectacular. So quick Q&A session on here. How many lead magnets should I create? So start with one massive high quality lead magnet, align with your flagship course and master its promotion before creating more. So don't try and jump in the deep end and create 15 of them. One awesome one and you're away. Digital or printable? Offer both. Simple as that. Challenge length recommendations. Most course creators 5 to 7 day challenges. That balances completion rates with proper engagement to drive the sales that you're looking for. Hardcore is 30, 14 to 21, bit more difficult, but 5 7-day challenges, you won't go far wrong. Lead magnet to course conversion timeline, 30 days of download with a second wave, possibly during future launches. So your next steps, implementing lead magnets that sell. Choose your format, create with connection, build your system, launch and optimize. And that, my friends, is how to create lead magnets that sell.
Well done, Kevin. Well, and we have like 10 minutes left. Wow. That was a super one. That was just non-stop. How is the throat?
Dry.
What
I
I
told you there was a
love,
lot in there. I told you there was a lot in there.
yeah, there was, and I could, and what happens with these type of things when there's a ton of content and you're showing a lot of things is that people are so interested in looking at what you're doing that they don't even put questions. I always mark that as a good session.
Yeah.
When someone doesn't put a question into the chat, it generally means that you're covering it all. So everything's been put in there. This is going to be a showcase for people coming in later and seeing this and going through it. We're going to split it out. I've also mentioned that we'll probably convert this to a blog as well. So it would be good, Kevin, to go in there and upload your assets and just sort the raw material out so it makes sense as a blog. But there's so much going on because you've covered it from very initial thought right the way to the end result on everything. So I've got Diana saying here, this has been a great session. I got someone, Diana again, saying deep in, and I was asking any questions, deep in thought. people, I can visualize people just like, my head's about to explode because there's a lot of data there. But it's really good. There was data to back up all the information that you were saying and all of these things. So
Yeah.
really, really good. I had some questions myself. So I just wanted really quick ones, Kevin, because we're running out of time and your voice is probably shot.
No, I'm all good now.
You're good. So we had what was really interesting was, and I think this is really relevant to our users, is you chose Facebook and Pinterest for that initial planner that you set up. So you obviously made that decision to go with that as a platform, because a lot of people go, do I use Instagram? Do I use TikTok? Do I use YouTube? All of these.
Yeah.
So maybe let people understand how that thinking came about.
Yeah, Pinterest is a planning platform. So people that go there are natural planners. They go there to plan weddings, they go there to plan holidays, they go there to plan all sorts of stuff. That's the natural state of mind of someone that uses Pinterest, right? So if they're planning a house move, refurb of their house, that's why they go there. So to create a planner and put it in front of a bunch of people that are planners, it makes complete logical sense, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and it's a hugely used platform, but nobody
Mm.
talks about it. And the
No,
reason,
I use it a lot. I use it a lot myself because I have boards. I don't really post that much to it, but I use a lot of other people's board pins because I have boards set up for digital sculpting. So I've like got different people in lighting effects and animals and these things that I use as a continual reference is invaluable. So I know those type of people that put this stuff out, and I know that audience that would like this stuff. And you're right, yeah, planners is another one because they like that infographics, don't they, as well?
yeah, and they'll go there and they look for things that are like, 5 steps to training my dog. Well, they can go and get it in text format, but what they want is they want a visual format, right? So they'll head to Pinterest and go and find it. So if they do a search on Google, for example, they'll change the search result to image only, and then it will take them probably through to Pinterest. So that's how they're searching by doing it. So, it makes sense that if you've got something that's like that, that you promote it in the place where they're looking. And
Yeah,
Facebook, because of the groups, it's one of
yeah,
it's the most active place for groups. Yeah, they're a little bit finicky as to what you can and can't do in a group, but if you find the right place and the right group with the right mindset in there, and you're not selling anything, remember, you're just giving stuff away for free. If you go for a time, like as I say, if it's a time management planner and you go into a time management group and then you go, here's my time management planner, you'll get thrown out as the door will not stop revolving on how fast you get booted out, right? Because, and rightly so, because that person or that company has spent a lot of time building that group for time management stuff. So you've come swanning in and give them a resource that you're going to sell them time management stuff. They won't want you in there. So you go either directly to the group owner and go, look, I've got this. Can we work together on it? In which case they might say yes or might say no. Some say yes, some say no. Or you find another group with the people that have time management issues, but they're not there for time management. Yeah, so it could be teachers, a teachers group that you go into who are moaning about they've got no time in the day, right? They could be one of your ideal clients that you want to get into your course. So you go and
yeah.
find them, and then you can share that in there if they allow you.
Yeah, and I think what's also good about this infographics is that you don't have to be hard selling. You can make it joking fun, almost as an infographic that
Yeah,
put in there, like especially with like weight loss and those sort of things. You do these funny graphics and that can get people's interest to actually go and find out more about you. And that's what we're looking for is people click your profile and they go through, find out what about you. And then of course you make sure that what they see is in front of them, be able to go in and actually sign up for something you can give away for free. But we are talking about free here, aren't we? We're
yeah,
talking about free.
100%.
So because you haven't mentioned, and that'll probably shock a lot of people, you haven't mentioned the word anything about the actual course sale itself, because the whole point is to get people to warm them up before they have that. So you can, it's like you said, it's an easy sell, isn't it?
But it sells itself if you've got everything right and lined up properly. The bigger problem is that people don't create a lead magnet that's of any true value. What they do is they make something in 15 minutes, quick thing. Oh, I'll just give them that and they'll take it and I'll get people on my list. But if you really want people that are going to buy from you, it has to be exceptional. And people don't always put that effort in to make exceptional.
Yeah. So that brings me on to another point I was going to ask you about. So like, how would in any market, let's talk dogs because let's talk dogs. How do we find that USP when everybody does the same thing? So it's like dog training.
Yeah.
Probably everybody does basic training tips and that sort of things. What are we trying to do here? Are we trying to just give? Are we trying to do something looks amazing but is the same, or are you trying to find a unique selling point in your niche?
No, the USP is easy. The USP is probably the easiest thing that you will ever be able to work out because the USP is you, right? It's nobody, everybody can learn, train a dog. Everybody can make a dog sit using different things, different techniques. What they haven't got is your experience, right? That's personal that nobody can take from you. Nobody can use elsewhere. It's your experience. So that's what makes you unique in what you do. Now, how you convey that and package that is what will make people come to you. Right. So let me give you an example. I know over in Kent, there's a guy that trains German Shepherds. Right. He's an ex-police dog handler, was doing it 30 years, only ever trained German Shepherds for the police. He's now gone private and he trains, um, he deals with resource guarding German Shepherds and he deals with puppies. Right. And his USP is one, he's had 30 years in the police. He only deals with resource guarding and puppies.
Very,
But he's
yeah,
a dog trainer, right? And I know him, and he's exceptionally good, and he's really expensive, and he's booked out. But everybody that however has a puppy, so think about the logic behind what I just said there. If you don't train a German Shepherd properly and it becomes a resource guarding dog, that's dangerous. So what do you do when you get a puppy and you see someone that deals with resource guarding? He's basically saying, if you don't train your puppy with me, you'll get a dog that ends up resource guarding, and I'm going to have to deal with that in the future. Right? It's really clever. So
yeah,
everyone with a puppy goes, well, I don't want a bloody German Shepherd resource guarding. I'm going to go and get his puppy training, right? Because it's never going to happen then.
yeah.
It makes complete sense. So he trains hundreds of puppies.
Well, I guess that the hard thing here is like people that like, yeah, I know that everyone's their authentic self. So when they're selling, that's when they get them to that point, then people are gonna, as you said, like they'll either like you or they won't like the style or it's not for them. But it's actually that selling point when you're trying to put something out there. Maybe something like if you were doing that, you'd make sure that you were in front of the camera, so this in that case might not work for pin interest, for instance,
Yeah.
because you want people to see you.
Well, this is the whole point of taking them through the next stage. So the lead magnet is to a degree impersonal. It's just something really, really great that you're giving them for nothing, right? And it might be you do a challenge and you're getting them in via a video that's on the opt-in page or whatever it is. But then once they've completed it, you take them down whatever the next step is. And one of the next steps, what you talked about, was webinars, where you get them on a webinar so they get to hear you more and understand you more. So if you've done a planner, a webinar is really good because if you've done a challenge, the likelihood is they've probably heard or seen you already,
Mm,
right? If you do a planner and it's just a document in effect, they don't know you, they haven't really seen you, they don't know what you sound like. So for me, the logical step would be, well, I'll then take them on a webinar, go through some of the things they've done with a planner or not done, and then they get to hear me on that, and then they can make a decision.
yeah, yeah. So there's mixing up a little bit. It's not just about just putting that one thing out. Because the
No.
other thing that you could do, of course, on the opt-in page is you could have a video. You can have an on-demand video that tells people what they're getting. That way, they're kind of connecting with you anyway. So they see you and they're like, "Oh, I'm excited about this. I'll jump in there." And then when they come in, they'll get. It's about warming people up, isn't it? You've got people, they like you. You're in their face straight away, but not hard selling, because
No.
that's something you probably see a lot as well. I see it all the time that people, they do these things, they do these live events and things like that, but they never. It's like at the end of it, it's like, "Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. See you later," and then they're off. They don't go and say where that person's next step in the journey is. And
Mm.
it shocks me because they've done all that hard work, got those people in, and then those people are like, "Well, that was great, that session. I don't know what to do next."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just getting the process in place, right? It's like anything, it's a sales process. It's like someone walking into a shop and picking like, I don't know, a rake up, putting it on the counter, and it's like the cashier just sort of locking the till up and walking off. Why would you do that? you'd tell them how much it was and how would you like to pay? Thanks very much. Right.
Sounds like my local shop.
So, but a lot of people just shut the till and walk off, and they forget that that's part of that process too, right?
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with it. And sort of going back onto what you're saying about having a video on the opt-in page, remember, there's no reason why you can't create three, four, five, six different opt-in pages and deliver them differently for the same product. So if you've got a planner, you could have three different opt-in pages that you put in. Maybe you have one for Pinterest, one for Facebook, one for LinkedIn, as an example. Right? One's got a video, one hasn't got a video, and one's got an audio or whatever. Right? See
Mm.
which one converts where better. Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
split testing. It's been around for hundreds of years. Well, maybe not
That,
hundreds, but
no, yeah, no, exactly. It always has been around. People choosing different colors are basically split testing things.
yeah,
So it's every way you look at it. And we did a video on how you can create a split testing scenario inside Zenler itself, and it's really easy. You can create multiple opt-in pages, put those out to different socials, like you said, and see those conversion rates. You could even do it with your existing mailing list. Well, you could split it into group A and B and send them to different pages in the funnel
mm,
steps. That's what I love about Zenler. The funnel steps doesn't just give you one opt-in place. You can create as many as you like, which automatic, and you can do that with pages, everything else. So I
yeah.
think split testing is a really good way to do it, but we don't want to overcomplicate because, like you were saying before, what we see a lot of people doing is overcomplicating things all the time.
Yeah, you just this is what I said right at the end. Just do one, start with one, and then just see how you get on with it. And we've set the expectation out as what you can expect from that, and just have a go. It's that easy. These things are not difficult. Canva makes life so much easier now. You can literally just go in, type something in, and it will give you 100 options. It's not hard. So there's lots of reasons why you can do stuff easily now.
Yeah, yeah, very good.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of stuff is on the paid Canva, but paid Canva's only like what, £8 a month or something, £9 a month. It's not expensive. Right. If
Nothing.
this is your business, you need to be investing at least that in it. I think if you're not using any other design tools, then £9 a month is nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing, and the amount of things that you can do, not just shopping generally, but so many different things. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Kevin. We are now past the 2 o'clock. So you've been going on for 2 hours
Fair
and
dues.
extra 2 minutes as well. Look, I did put the link in there. People are watching. I've said to the group that you'll have a look at that chat because there's going to be questions coming there. We're going to produce a blog and Kevin's going to go in. He'll probably tell you about when it comes out. And that's going to go on there because there's so much valuable content. This part is going to be stripped out and put in there as a
Okay,
video, so you can watch it, but you can also catch up on there, and we'll use that as our showcase for going across all this stuff because we've covered so much. Thank you so much,
nice.
Kevin.
No worries.
Massive, massive session.
Catch you later. Enjoy the rest of the day with Zenler.
See you later. There you go. So absolutely jam packed. So thinking about it, Kevin has done 1/3 of a day with Zenler. So it's almost, and I got to, because we run out of time. I forgot to do my Kevin's top tips. Maybe he'll come back. Kevin, coming back. Still here. Oh, there he is. Look,
I'm back.
Kevin, I
Go
forgot
on.
to do it.
Top tip. What's my top tip?
Tip of the day.
Oh my God. Let me think. A top tip of the day. My top tip for today would be my top tip of today would be to, oh gosh, what can I think of?
Not bathe a psychotic cat.
No, my top tip of today would be to go through your current marketing strategy and work out where a challenge or a planner would fit really nicely. So look at what you currently do. So are you a blog post writer, for example? So that's how you market your business. Is there opportunity to create a planner from that would link with the content you're creating? Or are you a YouTuber? Can you create a planner that will fit with the YouTube content you're creating that you can link back? right? Because this will be really good to link back anyway, right? Um, and then start with maybe a planner or a 3 or 5 day challenge and start to map that out. So that would be my top tip, because if we're not marketing, we're not growing.
Yeah.
So that's my
Fantastic.
top
That's
tip.
brilliant. Right, guys, on that, put it into the thread for this. Thank you so much, Kevin. Yeah, put it in to the thread. So you're watching this thread, put it in there. You got any questions? You got stuff that you're thinking, I can do that with my business, or you don't know what to do. Put it in there. Kevin will look after this little chat in here because he's run this whole session. So he'll look after that and he'll get you the answers that you need in there. Maybe you can discuss it. There's some more experienced people in here. Maybe you can discuss and help people out as you go through as well. But we're finished. We're back in 2 hours. Well, actually, it's 1 hour, 55 minutes. We've got Rakesh in. Please don't miss this. All right. Don't miss Rakesh on at 4 p.m. BST time. You'll want to be here. When he's finished, we're going to finish the live build. Okay, so we're going to show you how to we do a day with Zenler. I'm going to flash through it like lightning. So again, you'll be pausing, and I'll give you some assets as we go through as well. Don't miss it. 2 hours time. Francis, really good to see you. I know you're late, but you did get here and you've got that homework. So guys, try and do this. Try and do this. Like what Kevin's trying to get you to do here is to get you to move forwards, to get you to market something rather than nothing. So if you've got courses that you've got up and all you're doing is promoting the courses and you're not trying this method for the sake of creating a planner, and it doesn't take long, Kevin proved it on 2 of the things, then you can get this stuff up really quickly. And then you can ask questions. You can maybe go on live support and say, look, I've done that planner that Kevin was talking about. So where do I go from here? And Mammy can help you as well. And of course, you can ask Kevin. So you can put at Kevin arrow in here, and he will answer it. And of course, we'll answer as well. So you can post your questions, but try and do that as part of the homework. It will be really, really beneficial for you. So that is Kevin's top tip there. Get that done, and we'll see you in 1 hour, 53 minutes time with the amazing Rakesh. He will be in, and he will unveil to you something special. Right, guys? That's all I'm saying. See you later.